Hello, how are you doing, guys? My name is Andres, and right now I'm gonna teach you how to learn Blender. I just want to make a technical checkup. I want to know if you can hear me and see me. I want to know if you could hear me and if you could see my screen. Okay. Okay, guys, well, I hope everybody can see me right now. I'm gonna start this Blender class. My name is Andrew, and I'm gonna help you today on how to learn the basics in Blender. So let's start with the interface. We have here 5 different spaces in our basic layout. This is gonna be the tool area over here. Here we're gonna have our tree where we could gonna see all the elements that we're gonna create in our workspace. Here are the properties, and here we're gonna have the different layouts. As you can see, we are working right now in layout, but you also have the option to work in modeling, sculpting, UV editing, texture and painting, shading, animation, rendering, compositing, geometry, and scripting. But today we're gonna focus in the basic layout. So let's start with some basics. When you're in the layout, you could see that with the center button of your mouse, the scroll one, you could press and you could turn your camera view. If you want to make a pan, you have to press shift and scroll. So this way you could actually move around. Also, with the num keypad that is on your right side, you could press 1 to the front view, 3 to the side view, 7 to the top view. For example, if you want to see the back view, you have to press 1 and also the number 9 to see the opposite view that you are watching right now. As well, if you want to see the side view and you want to see the left view, you have to press 3, and after that you press 9 again, so you could see the other side. And same as if you want to see the top and the bottom, you press again 7 to top and 9 to see the bottom. Right? To move around the space, you're gonna need 3 keys that you have to learn, because it's gonna be like the basics that you're gonna always use. That's R, G to move the objects around, R to rotate, and S to scale the object. When you're using these kind of tools, you also could set the scale, the rotation, or the movement in one direction. For example, if you're scaling, you could press Z and you could only scale in one direction. Same as well, if you press Y, you could move your scaling to the other direction, as the same if you press X. That's going to help you a lot when you're modeling in different views. So let's just start with something simple. I want to teach you how to model a Lego Batman. So let's start. I already sent you some files. If you could check in your email, I'll send some pictures that you're gonna use as reference. And also I send you one program that it's called PureRef. It's gonna be super easy to install, but we're gonna use it to keep everything here to start watching what we want to model and to get some reference. So we're gonna start looking for the file that I sent you. It's gonna be in the folder materials and reference. We're gonna select all the files and we're gonna drag it to PureRef. After everything is read, we could start using this to see all the details that we want to use. So let's delete this default cube and press 1 to start in the front view. Here we're going to create a collection here in the tree. We're going to make right click, new collection, and we're going to call it reference. We're also going to create another collection. Sorry, let me delete this one. We're going to create a new collection here and we're going to name it Geo. In Geo we're going to build everything, and in reference we're going to put all the pictures that we're going to use as reference during our modeling process. Here we're going to start here using the ref one, and we're going to go here to get some other options and filters. We're going to click it and we're going to select this little arrow that is here, that is going to allow you to select or not select during your process of modeling. So we're going to on this stuff, and as you could see, we could see here a little arrow in our collections. So let's start here. To create an object, you have to press Shift and the A key, and we're gonna get this menu. As you could see, you could create mesh, curve, surface, meatball, text, volume, pencil, and all different tools that you could use in the future. Today we're going to start using the image one, and we're going to create a reference. Then we're going to browse and look for our materials folder. Then we're going to go to reference, and we're going to use this one that it's called R. It's going to be our Batman reference for the front view. We're going to import it, and we're going to move with this tool that is called move. We're going to select the blue arrow, and we're going to move it in the Z axis. So we could put it more or less in the center to keep everything in the middle. And after we do that, we're going to press this little arrow, and you will see the icon has changed already. That means that when we are modeling, we are not going to by error select it or do something that we don't want. So now we're going to select the Geo collection to start creating some geometry over here. So let's zoom in. To zoom in, you only use your scroll. As I mentioned, if you press Shift and your scroll, you could pan your view. So let's zoom in, and now we're going to create the first leg. To create our first geometry, we're going to click Shift and right click to move the cursor. As you can see, this little cross move from the center or origin to this part. If I want to change it back to the origin, we could press Shift S, and we could go cursor cursor to world origin, and as you can see it returns here. But right now I need it over here, so I'm gonna press Shift, right click, and I'm gonna move it here. After that I'm gonna press Shift A, I'm gonna go to mesh, and I'm gonna create a cube over here. I want to this shape look like a leg, so I'm gonna start scaling this a little bit just to get this shape. As you could see, we have this. Oh, let me take a moment. We're gonna select again our reference, and we're gonna move it a little back to do not disturb our geometry, and we do not cover the reference during our modeling process. Then I press again this arrow to avoid the selection during the modeling process. I'm gonna press 1 again, and I'm gonna be in the front view. Okay, perfect. Now I'm gonna press 3 to see the right side of this object. I'm gonna select, and I'm gonna press the Tab key. That's gonna change this toolbar, as you could see, and now we are in edit mode. In edit mode, we could change everything over here. And now we're gonna use some stuff. We're gonna edit the model with using vertices, edges, or faces, and it's here in the top toolbar. Also, I could move it using the numbers that it's in the upside of your keyboard, and you could press 1 for vertices, 2 for edges, and 3 for faces. That's going to be the shortcut, and it's going to be super useful during your modeling because it's going to help to improve your modeling so much. Right now I'm going to create here a subdivision, so I'm going to press right click, subdivide, and as you could see, something appear here. So I'm going to press the arrow, and I could see how many cuts I want to get in the face. As you can see, here appear some lines. These edges are going to help us to model a lot of stuff. So let's get some subdivisions here. I think with 4 it's going to be more than enough. No, 3. 3 is going to be better. Right now that we're going to do is create here. We're going to go to the right side, move a little bit with Shift and scroll. We're going to try to center in our view, and we're going to select 2 to select edges, and we could press Alt to select the whole loop. As you can see, if I press Alt and click over one edge, I could select all the edges that are connected in one line. You're gonna ask why I'm gonna need this. Well, I'm gonna try to make a little cylinder here to simulate the Lego leg. As you can see in our reference over here, the Lego legs are kind of circular in the top, so we're gonna try to simulate that. Let's try this. So we're gonna select this edge loop. We're gonna press 3 to see to the side, and we're gonna try one thing that is a smooth selection that's gonna help you to stretch everything, affecting everything that it's around. This property gonna help you to smooth your shaders, and gonna help you a lot when you're trying to make some organic shapes. So let's try it. We're gonna click here and then the arrow, so we could have some options here. One is the smooth. We could affect this geometry as a sphere, as a root, as an inverse square, as a sharp, a linear, constant, or random. We here gonna use sphere. Then we're gonna press S to scale, and we're gonna set in the Y, because we have here the Y axis, and it's gonna be more useful. So Y, S, we're gonna press Y, and we're only gonna affect in the Y-axis this part right now. To reduce the affected area, we could just use the scroll during this scale, and we could decrease, or we could go here, we could press 0.01, and when we're affecting this, you could see that only gonna affect these little arrows over here. And if I use a scroll during the scale, you could see this circle that it's appearing in the center, and it's gonna be the area that we're gonna affect right now. So we're gonna try to scale it to try to make a circular shape, and then we're gonna select the other edge loop with Alt and click, and we're gonna do the same but in the Z axis. So S to scale, C to affect the Z axis, and we're gonna scale it a little bit to get this circular shape. Right now we have already this kind of cylinder, and we're gonna start creating the leg. We have to keep in mind that everything have to match with the reference to we could have like a proper shape and a proper scale. So we're gonna press Shift and Z to have this like translucent view, and also it's gonna be so useful when you're working in like views, because this one gonna allow you to select the stuff that is in the back part of the selection. If you only work with this part, like in this view, like when it's completely gray, if you select using the front view, you're only gonna select the faces that you can view from that part. If you want to select something that is in the back, you have to press Shift Z, press 1, and then drag your click, and you could select everything. As you can see, it's really useful because you could actually see through the geometry and also select everything that it's in the geometry. So when we already select this, we're going to try to scale a little bit to match the size of the leg. We're going to press move to move it a little bit here to try to match here, and now we're gonna scale it in the X value. So S, oh sorry, we have this activate, so we're gonna press O or click here to deactivate. So we're gonna scale this in the X value, so S, X, and we're going to start scaling it to have this shape. Okay, we already have the cylinder here. Now we're going to press 7 and 9 to see the bottom of this part, and again we're going to press Shift Z to go to the gray view, and now we're going to select these faces over here. When we already have these faces, we're going to check that we already have everything selected. We're going to press 3 to see the side view, and we're going to press Alt and E to get this menu, and we're going to try to extrude along the normals of the faces, and we're going to try to go in the Z value to get this straight extrude. Now as you can see, we have this curve and we don't want that. So what can we do? We're going to press 3 to go to the side view, S to scale, Z because it's in the Z axis, and we're going to press 0, and we get a flat shape. That easy. Now we're going to go to the front view, we're going to press 1, and we're going to move it a little bit to try to match the size of this part. As you can see, we already have the half of the leg already. So we're gonna press again 1, but we need some extra geometry over here. What can we do? Well, we could press Ctrl and R to add some cuts over here. And if you move the scroll of your mouse, you could increase those cuts, as you can see. And here we're only gonna use 2 cuts. So we click it, and then after you click it, you can move it around. So we're gonna try to move the size and the cut to try to match the foot of the Batman. I think over there is really good. We press click, and we have a perfect loop all over our geometry. But we're gonna repeat here the scale process to have a flat cut. So we're gonna press 3 to loop the side view. We're gonna select one of the loops, but if you could see, I'm in the gray mode, so let's check it out if everything is selected. No, it's not. So we're gonna go to 3, and we could select one edge and press Alt, and we're gonna select the whole loop, or we're gonna press Shift Set, or C, sorry, Set, and we could see everything through. So let's press 3, and we could select the whole loop, and as you can see, also work that way. Well, we're gonna press again Shift Set. So right now I'm gonna select with Alt my loop. I'm gonna press S to scale, Z to the axis, and 0 to get a flat cut over here. I'm gonna do the same as well here. Shift to select, Alt to select the whole loop, S to scale, Z to select the axis, this blue axis, and then 0 again. Now we have a perfect flat loop. After that, we're gonna select 3 in the top num keypad to select faces, or we're gonna press this one over here, faces, and we could select these 4 faces. We press 3 to go to the side view, E to extrude, and we could have the foot. There you go. Right now we have almost the leg over here. I want to create some cuts here to help us to preserve the shape when we smooth it. So I'm gonna press 2 to go to edge mode, or I'm gonna press over here edge. Ctrl R to make a cut. I think with 2 it's gonna be okay. Click to place it, and then I could move it. I don't want to move it, so I could press escape, and it's gonna place it just in the middle of the edge. Right now it's more than enough that I need, and as you can see in our reference here, we could see that this is connected to the hip plastic area, and they are joined with some structure over here. So we need to create the hole so we could fit this part into the leg, and we could have the rotation movement that the Lego Batman have in the leg. So we have to move to 3, but we're not seeing that part that we need to. So we're gonna press 9 to see the opposite view, and perfect. Now we're gonna select 3 to select faces with the top num keypad, or we're gonna press here to select faces. We're gonna select these 4 faces. We're gonna press I to make an insert, and then Shift Alt S, and we could circulate a little bit here. Then we're gonna press delete, and we're gonna delete these faces. Why? Because we don't want that weird shape that we are having at the end. So we're gonna press Alt. First of all, we're gonna select edges. We're gonna press Alt to get this loop. Then we're gonna press F3. That's gonna give you this menu. This is a browser that you could browse all the tools that Blender have. It's really useful because you could find everything, and even if you don't know where is it, you will find it. Now we're gonna use Grid Fill, and we're gonna click it, and as you can see, it's already make a cap here, but with some cuts, and we have so many over here that we could affect that cap. So we're gonna increase the number of cuts, and we could actually turn it to get a perfect shape in the offset. Now we're gonna press E to extrude, but it's going out and we need a hole, so we need to move it in the opposite side to get a perfect hole over here that it's already capped. Perfect. After we have this, we're gonna press Tab again, and we're gonna get out of the edit mode. And as you can see, the shape is a little square, so we need to smooth it a little bit, and there's two ways to do it. We could press Ctrl 1, 2, or 3, that are the levels of smoothment, or we could go to this like wrench and add a modifier that it's going to be smooth, that is going to be in the form smooth. Both ways going to work, but I prefer to use select the piece, Ctrl 2, and we're going to have this option that it's already smoothed. But as you can see, some of the corners are going to be affected. So how can we keep that sharp? Well, we're going to get back into edit mode pressing Tab, and then we're going to press Ctrl, we're going to press Shift E. First we select everything, Shift set, select everything, and with Shift E you could see we could drag and we could affect just one part, more than enough to have a smooth shape, but not too much to affect all the loops. There you go. So we could have a perfect leg, a little bit smoothed, but not that much that's gonna round some edges, because we want to keep some sharpness over here. Okay, now that we have one leg, in the tree we're gonna rename it. We double click over the geometry and we're gonna place leg underscore L, because it's the left side. Perfect. Now outside the edit mode, in the object mode, we're gonna press Shift D and enter to have a duplicate of the leg. Again, you select your object, Shift and D, and enter. So you get a perfect exact copy of your geometry. Now with right click we could go to mirror, and we're gonna press in the X in global mode, and we're gonna have a mirror of the leg. Now we're gonna place it, press 1 to have the front view. You're gonna move it and you're gonna place it in the right place. Now we have already the two legs. Now we're gonna rename the second leg to leg R, because it's the right one, and perfect. Now we're gonna create the hip. Here, as you can see, it's a plastic shape that's gonna join the legs and also gonna join the chest and the belt over here. So let's gonna model that. we're gonna press 1 to get the front view, and with shift and left click we're gonna move the origin. I think we're gonna put it more or less over here. As you can see, this is the belt and this is the hip, so I think here, shift and click, right click to move the cursor. Now shift A to create some other geometry. We're gonna select cube, and as you can see, the origin of the cube starts where I place the cursor. So now we're gonna scale it. We're gonna select the cube, S, and set axis to just affect the Z direction. We're gonna try to put a little bit over the leg. Now we're gonna press S and X, and we're gonna scale it in the X size. I think over there is gonna be more than perfect. Then we're gonna move to the side view, pressing 3 in the num keypad that it's in the right part of your keyboard. 3, and as we can see, it's a little bit out of the center, so we're gonna move it, trying to align the blue arrow with the blue line that is gonna be the origin. I think over there it's gonna be perfect. Then we're gonna scale, and because we are in the side view, the Y is gonna be the value that we're gonna use. So we're gonna press S and Y, and we're gonna scale it to have a shape more or less over here. Perfect. Now we're gonna press Tab to go to edit mode, and we're gonna press subdivide. This is gonna add some extra cuts all over the geometry, and we're gonna use it to create this curved shape to match the shape of the leg. So we're gonna press 3 to go to the side view, and we're gonna increase the number of cuts that we have. I think with 4 it's gonna be more than enough. Perfect. Now we're gonna select edge, shift set to see through the object, and we're gonna select this edge. As you can see, I already select the whole loop all over the shape, so I'm gonna affect all this part. We're gonna press 3 to go to side view, and we're gonna turn this tool that's gonna help you to affect the shape proportionally. So we're gonna press it, and during the movement, as you can see, appear one circle that if I scroll my mouse, it's gonna decrease or increase the size. So I could actually affect everything or just one part, for example. So I need to affect this part, so I could move it a little bit here and get a curved shape. I think that's more than enough. I'm gonna press O to deactivate this stuff, and I'm gonna move it manually a little bit. Now we have like a curved shape that it's gonna allow the leg to move without scratching this top part. But as you can see, some of the edges are overlapping here. So what we're gonna do is gonna go to edge mode. We're gonna select one, and we're gonna press Alt in the one that is next to him, and we're gonna select the whole loop. Then we're gonna press S, Z, so we will affect just this line in this axis to get a better topology. Then again with this one, Alt and click, S, Z, and we're gonna move it to try to get a better shape over here. Now any of our loops are overlapping. I'm gonna move this one a little bit to the top to have more air over here, and we have the shape already fitting this part. Awesome. Now I need to create this circular part that is gonna be in the middle of the legs, that actually is the piece that's gonna hold them. So this part. Let's try to do that. Now I'm gonna select these faces. I'm gonna turn off one of the legs just to have a better view. I'm gonna press 7, that is gonna send me to the top view, and then 9 in the num keypad to see the bottom. After that I'm gonna go to face mode here, and I'm gonna select all the center faces of my shape. As you can see, it's already in the center. So 7, 9 to see the bottom, and I'm gonna press I to make an insert face. I think more or less over there is gonna be perfect. Awesome. Now I'm gonna press 3. I'm gonna scale in the y-axis, so S, Y, and I'm gonna scale it a little bit just to have a bigger shape. S, Y, exactly. And I'm gonna move it a little bit to the bottom, just over there. Perfect. As you can see, is more or less matching here. We don't have like a bump or something over here. So we're gonna press 3 to see the side, and now I'm gonna press E to extrude this. It's already in the Z axis. As you can see, the blue line in the middle says that it's already active, so we're only gonna move here, and it's not gonna be affected by the Y or X axis. So we're gonna go straight to cover the whole circle that it's on the leg. And when we already pass that part, we're gonna make click, and it's gonna end the extrusion. But we have the opposite shape that we want. So what can we do? We're gonna press 3 to go to side view. We're gonna press S, set, and instead press 0, we're gonna press -1, and we're gonna have the opposite shape, just like that quick. Now we're gonna press Ctrl R to create some edge loops. I think with 3 is gonna be perfect. We're gonna press Escape to put it in the center, and there you go. Now we're gonna press 3 to have the side view. We're gonna press O to activate this tool. We're gonna be sure that it's in sphere, and we're only gonna select this loop. Click Alt to select just this loop. We're gonna press S and Y, and we're gonna affect this to have a circular shape, just like that. Perfect. Now we're gonna press Shift Set to have this transparent view, and we're gonna select everything. We're gonna make right click, and we're gonna press Subdivide. That's gonna add a lot of faces over here. That's gonna help us to get a better shape. So we're gonna press again 3 to have the side view. Click outside of the geometry to deselect everything, and now we're going to select the faces that are close to this circle that we have over here. So we're going to select face mode, or press 3 in the top num keypad, and we're going to select these faces over here. If you already select that, you could press Control plus, and you're going to increase the faces that are around the selection that you already made. Same as well, if you press Control minus, you're going to reduce the faces that are selected. So we're going to press Control plus to increase how many faces do we have here. We're going to press 3 to have the side view, and then we could make something. we could make right click, loop tools, and we could go to circle to have this circle, and then we're gonna say, press S, Y to just affect this one. But as you can see, it's affecting everything. So what happened? We have the proportional edit mode, turn it on. So I'm gonna press O to deactivate it, or click over here in this circle. Again, we're gonna press S, Y to just affect this axis. We want to try to make a perfect circle shape over here, and there you go. We have, if we're going to press Shift Z, you will see we have a perfect circular shape over here. So press 3, and we're going to scale it again to have a better shape over here, and then we're going to press I to make an insert face. There you go. And then just selecting the front faces, this way, or just selecting these four and Control plus. I'm going to select everything that is around the selection, and we're going to press 1 to the front view, and we're going to press E to extrude. Perfect. Now we need to see if this size is matching the whole of the leg. So how can we do that? Press Shift Z to go to the wireframe mode. We're going to press 3 to see if it's matching. And as you can see, it's not matching that well. So we're going to press Ctrl C to go back one step, and we're going to scale it a little bit to match the size of the leg hole. When we already have that size, we're going to extrude it, and we have this shape over here. Now we could do the same in the other side. Let me turn the leg off. We could do all the same in the other side, or we could use some modifiers. So let's start using the modifiers. In the face mode, Shift Z to delete everything, and we're gonna select all these faces. We're gonna press delete faces, and we're gonna have half of the part. Now we're gonna press Tab, Shift Z to have the grade mode, and we're gonna select this part and go to add modifiers. We're gonna go to generate and mirror. As you can see, it's already created with the same geometry, but just in the other side. Perfect. Now, this is a modifier that you could change during the time, or if you want to be permanent, you have to go over here, close to the camera icon, press the arrow and apply, or you can press Ctrl A to apply this change to be permanent. So we're gonna apply, and as you can see, we have a perfect shape over here. Right now, if I smooth this part, it's gonna look weird, so let's try that. Shift to select, Shift select, there you go. Ctrl 2 to have a smooth. Now Tab and Shift set to wireframe mode, select everything, Shift set again, and Shift E to just select what we're gonna be affect to have a smooth, but do not lose the sharpness of the object. There you go. So much better. Now we have the legs and hip of the Lego Batman. These two legs, we're gonna move it a little bit to the front. There you go. Now we need to create the belt. We're gonna go to pure ref to see how's the shape. Oh, as you can see, something is missing in the hip here. These two like kind of screws that are gonna match to the chest and keep everything in place. So let's make that stuff. So we're gonna press tab to go to edit mode, 7 to go to the top mode, and then we're gonna select these faces over here. And I think we could go for these 3. Control plus to increase the size. We're gonna select also these 3. Something over there. We're gonna make the same in the other side. So we're gonna press shift, click and drag to select the other faces, and then we're gonna extrude this stuff. Something over there. Perfect. We could also select this. No, I think it's gonna be okay this way. No, something is bothering me. It's not symmetrical. So Control Z. We're gonna select also these 6 extra faces. Control Shift. Okay. I think that's gonna be better. E to extrude. And there you go. Now we're gonna add some edge loops here. So Control R to add some edge loops. There you go. Escape to place it in the center. Alt to select this loop. Alt click, and we're gonna move it a little bit to the down, and this one a little bit to the top to preserve this edge. We're gonna do the same in the other side. Control R to add the loops. Move the scroll to add 3 loops. Click and escape to place it in the center. Now Alt and click in one of the edges, and we're gonna move it a little bit to the down. Alt and click to select this, and we're gonna move it to the top a little bit over here. Perfect. Now I think we have the hip. Tap to get out of the edit mode. We already have this, and we're gonna start modeling the belt. We're gonna rename this piece as hip. Perfect. Now we're gonna go to the front view, and with shift click we're gonna move the cursor a little bit. So we're gonna place it over here. Shift A to get the add menu, and we're gonna create another cube. We're gonna scale it in Z. So select the cube, S, Z. We're gonna create a thinner belt over here. Something over here. We're gonna move it a little bit to the down. We're gonna go to the side view. We're gonna move this to the center of the piece. We're gonna scale it in Y-axis. So S, then Y. We're gonna scale it. This have to be a little bit bigger than the hip. And now you're gonna see why. Because we have this kind of pockets in the front of the belt. So we're gonna try to model that too. Now we're gonna go to the front view. We're gonna scale in X-axis over here to match the size of the shape. Now we're gonna get out of exit mode and press 1. We're gonna move the cursor to this side, shift right click, and we're going to create another shape. Shift A to create a little cube. We're going to scale it in general. I think something over here, more or less. Yeah. Then we're going to scale it in Z axis. So S, Z. There you go. Something like that. Let's see where's my cube. Then S, Y. We're going to scale it to have the shape of that little back. And we're going to move it to the front of the belt. Something like that. Perfect. Now with the dot in the Num keypad, you could focus in the shape that you already have selected. So we're going to press dot and the camera go directly to the shape that I have selected over here. Now we're going to start modeling over here. We're going to press S, Y to get a little bit thinner. I think so, something there. We're going to go to the front view and press Tab to get into the edit mode. We're going to add subdivisions over here. Yeah, with 4 subdivision is going to be more than enough. Perfect. Now in the face mode, we're going to select these faces over here and these other faces over there, the top and the front, to create the cover of the back. There you go. We're gonna press I to make an insert face, just a little bit. There you go. That sounds perfect. Now with Alt and E, we're gonna get this extrude mode, and we're gonna press extrude face along normals, and we're gonna extrude this just a little bit, just to have some volume over there. Now we're gonna select just the top faces, something here. Yep, perfect. We're gonna be sure that we haven't selected anything else. Yeah, we do. So with Shift and click over the face that we don't want, we could deselect it, and we're gonna move this a little bit to the top, just to get the exact same volume over there. Perfect. Now we're gonna select these 3 faces over here. We're gonna make an extrusion to get this part of the cover. Now in pressing 2, we're gonna go to edge mode, or pressing here, we're gonna get to edge mode. We're gonna select this edge and this edge, and we're gonna press Ctrl V to have bevel options. And I think that's gonna be perfect. Okay, I think that's gonna be our back. We press Tab to get out of edit mode. Perfect. Just that. Shift. With Shift and D, and we're gonna press X. We're gonna create a duplicate of this one. Again, Shift V and X to move in the X size. So let's move it over here. Again, Shift D, X. There you go. We have all the backs in the belt. I think so. Shift Z. We could select all this geometry over here. Perfect. Let's deselect this face. and we're gonna move it a little bit just to have everything centered. There you go. Awesome. Now we're gonna go to the top view with everything selected, Shift D, and now we're gonna move in the Y-axis. There you go, something over there. And now we're gonna press R to rotate everything and Control to move in some specific angles, so we could have it everything placed in the correct position. There you go. We almost have our belt. Now we have to subdivide this one in the middle. So with the face mode selected, we're gonna press Alt to select the whole loop and Shift to select this face and this face. Now we have the whole rectangle in the center selected, and with right click we're gonna add subdivisions. There you go. I think with 4 it's gonna be more than enough, or maybe 5. Yeah, 5 it's... no, 4 it's better. Perfect. Now with Control R we're gonna create some extra loops over here. Control R, click, we're gonna move it a little bit. Again, select this edge, Control R, click, and we're gonna move it a little bit here. So we have cuts all over this geometry, so we could actually create the hole over the belt. We're gonna turn off the hip just for a moment, and with the face mode selected, we're gonna select these faces over here, these faces over here, in the bottom the same, but we could do it with the wireframe mode. So we're gonna press 7 to go to the top, Shift Z to go in transparent mode. We're gonna select the faces. There you go. There you go. And we're gonna be sure that everything in the top and the bottom is already selected. And we're gonna click right click and go to bridge faces. Oh, we create a mistake. So how can we do this bridge face? You have only to select the faces that you have to bridge. That means we only could select one area, then be sure that both are selected, right click, bridge faces, and it's gonna create geometry between those faces and cap the hole. We're gonna repeat the process, press 7 to go to the top view, select those faces that we need to bridge, right click, bridge faces. Perfect. Now if we turn the hip, we could see that it's passing through the geometry. Now with Tab, we're gonna get out of the edit mode. With Control 2, we're gonna add some subdivisions to this. Again, with Alt, we return to edit mode, and with Shift and Z, we're gonna go to wireframe mode. We select all the faces, Shift Z again, and with Shift E, we're gonna select how much smoothness do we want. I think something over there. As you can see, we preserve the geometry in low poly, but we get some smooth over the geometry. Perfect. Now Tab to get out of the edit mode, and we need to create right now the chest. Let's do that. Perfect. In the front view, we're gonna start moving our cursor over here to the center of the chest. We're gonna press Shift, right click, and it's gonna move to the center, this cursor over here. We're gonna press Shift A to create a new cube, and we're gonna start scaling it. S, X to have this shape, S, Z to have a better placement over here. We're gonna move it to the center, press 3 to go to the side view. Try to align the blue arrow with the blue line of the map. Then we're gonna press S and Y to scale it properly to fit this size. There you go. We're gonna place a little bit in the center. S, Y. Perfect. So much better. Now 1 and tap to enter to edit mode. We're gonna go to vertices. 1 to go to the front view. We're gonna select only the top, but remember we have to press Shift Z to have the wireframe or transparency mode. We're gonna press 1 to the top, the front view, and select everything. That way we're gonna be sure that everything in front and in the back it's selected. Press 1 and we're gonna scale it in the X axis. S, X. There you go. We're gonna try to match this shape that we have over here. I think we have to scale these two, S, X, to have a better match. Perfect. Shift Z. Now we have the chest shape. As you can see, the arms are inserted in the chest. So if we go to the explode, you can see that the arms have like kind of an attachment over here that you could use it to fit it into the chest, and they could rotate. So we need to create a hole for that, right? So we're gonna go to side view, Shift Z to go wireframe, face mode here, or pressing 3 in the top new keypad. Select everything and subdivide. There you go. I think something over there it's gonna be helpful. Let's see how many faces. No, I prefer that one. Just one subdivision. Enter. Left mode. Now Control R, and we're gonna add here some 3 subdivisions. Escape to place it in the center, and again Control R. We're gonna add, I think 3 is gonna be okay. Escape to place in the center, Control R. 3 lines, enter. Escape to place in the center, and we already have enough geometry here to create our holes. 3 to side view, and I think I'm gonna use these 4. Pressing 3 to have face mode. We're gonna select this, these 6 faces. Perfect. 3. We're gonna press I to make an insert face, and then we're gonna try to go to circle. Right click, loop tools, circle. Perfect. Now we're gonna scale it in Z and Y to have a perfect shape. So S, Z, something over there. Now we could scale it uniform. Perfect. We're gonna create with I again an insertion. There you go. So much better. Now go to the front view, and as you can see, something moves a little bit. So with edge mode selected, we're gonna select all these faces over here. Now it's not selected, so press again 1. We could go to the selection tool, keep the click, and we could get all these different selection options. We're gonna go to the lasso selection mode, and we're gonna try to select just these edges. Let's see. Okay, it's already everything selected. One, move tool, and we're gonna move it in the X value. There you go. Now press R to rotate a little bit to match the shape. There you go. A perfect circle in the middle of our shape, keeping the angle that have the chest over here. And we're gonna do the same, or we could delete all these faces and create a mirror. I think I'm gonna go for that after I finish this. So Shift Z to keep everything visible. Now we're gonna select these faces. Ctrl plus to select everything else. No, these faces over here. Now we're gonna press E, from view E, and we're gonna extrude this to the Shift Z. And as you can see, we create a shape that is going inside the shape. Perfect. Now selecting this, Control R to create some edge loops. We're gonna move it a little bit to the bottom. Alt with click to select this one, and we're gonna move it to the top just a little bit to preserve the edges when we smooth it. Perfect. Shift Z, and we already have a hole for the arm, so Shift Z to delete all these faces. Press 1. We're gonna go to the select box. We're gonna select all these faces over here. Shift Z. All these loop, all these faces over here, and we're gonna delete it. Faces. Now we're sure that we don't have anything else. Now we need to create the hole for this part. So we're gonna go to this edge, Control R, and we're gonna add three cuts. Escape to keep it in the center. Now we're gonna turn off the hip and the legs to see through the geometry. We're gonna press Alt, click. We're gonna press 7 and 9 to go to the bottom, and we're gonna move this one. We're gonna go to move. We're gonna move in the X value. Alt click here. We're gonna move to the X value here, over here. Perfect. Now in the face selection mode, we're gonna select all these faces. We're gonna create insert. We're gonna try to insert a face over here. Perfect. And now press E to create an extrusion that go all over here. Now that we have the attachment for the hip and the space for the arm, we're gonna create a mirror. Shift Z to go to wireframe mode, select everything here, go to the range here, and we're gonna add a modifier. We're gonna go to generate mirror, and as you can see, we have everything exactly in the other side. We're gonna go to the arrow. I'm gonna press enter, tab, go to out of exit to edit mode, and apply. Now our shape is a whole geometry. We have the holes for this part, the holes for the arms, and we need to create this part over here that is going to be the attachment for the head. So let's do that. Tab again to go to edit mode. 7 to go to top mode. We're going to select these 4 faces over here. Ctrl plus to increase our selection. Shift and drag to select something extra. Y to create an insertion over here. Shift Alt S could help us to create a circular shape, but I don't like it too much, make some weird shapes, so I prefer to go with right click, loop, circle, and then scale it. S, X, and this way we could get a better shape, better circular shape, and we have more control of what we want. S, X, there you go. Y again to create an insert over here, and when we already have this shape we could extrude. Go to the front view pressing 1 in the Num keypad, E to extrude, and something over there. Perfect. Now with Ctrl R we're going to create some edge loops. Escape to keep it in the center. Alt and click to select this edge. We're going to go to the top. And this one, Alt and click. And we're going to move to the bottom to preserve this shape. Now, I don't like this face. So what can we do? So we could select all these faces. These 4 faces over here. Ctrl plus to increase our selection, and just select the faces that are missing. There you go. We delete those faces, pressing delete and faces, and we got this shape. Now we select the edge loop, pressing 2 to go to edge, then click and Alt. There you go. And we're going to press F3 and we're going to search for grid fill. Better. And we're going to go something over 5 around. Perfect. And we're going to offset this. There you go. Now the geometry shape match that we have. So we have a better topology over here. Perfect, I like it. Now tap to go out of the edit mode. Ctrl 2 to smooth it. And as you can see, the loops preserve the shape over here. We could go tap, Shift set to go to wireframe, select everything, Shift set to get grade mode again, or shade mode, Shift E, and we could edit how much smoothness do we want. I think something over there. Perfect. So much better. I like it until now. So we already have the hip, the belt, 2 legs, and the chest. We're gonna rename this chest. Awesome. Now we need to create the arm. We're gonna go front view. Now we're gonna click Shift and right click to move the cursor to the place that I want, and I think we're gonna start over here. There you go. Shift A to create something, and we're gonna create a circle. Perfect. Now we're gonna press R to rotate, to match this angle. Now we're gonna go to side view. We're gonna move it to the place that it's gonna be here. We're gonna rotate it a little bit, try to match this angle and scale it proportionally. There you go. As you can see in our reference, the hand, it's passing the hip a little bit. There you go. It's passing the hip just a little bit, so we have to keep the arm between the belt and the chest in that little space over here. Belt, chest, arm. There you go. So we're gonna move this a little bit to the top just to have that. Let's see if that's enough. Front view is matching the size. We almost have the angle. Perfect. 3 to the side view again. Shift D to duplicate, and we're gonna move it over here. Perfect. Now, how can we do this and match perfect the shape? We're gonna go to the side view. We're gonna select our ref collection, Shift A, and we're gonna create another image reference. So we're gonna go to image, reference, and we're gonna select this guy. Double click, and they're gonna send this image to our workspace. We're gonna move it to not disturb in our modeling. 3 to side view, move to something over here. We're gonna scale it to try to match the size just a little bit. It's not exactly our character, but it's gonna help us a lot to get the shape of the arm. Perfect. Right now we're gonna turn this, and these two off so we could have a better view of the arm. 3 to go to the side view. We have these two circles. We're gonna select both of them, right click and join, or Ctrl J and join. Now it's one shape, so when we enter to edit mode, we could use both circles at the same time. Now, side view, press 3, and we're going to try to match this shape. We're going to select this, and we're going to go to vertices selection mode. We're going to move it with this square. You can see we could move in both angles, in both axes, sorry, Z and Y. So we're going to try to match this position. We're going to rotate it a little bit. I think it's something over there. Perfect. This we're going to move it. Try to match this corner and the elbow. We're going to rotate it. Something over there. Scale it. R to rotate. Perfect. Awesome. Now it's missing one circle more over here. So let's create that circle. We're gonna scale it something like that. We're gonna move it over here, scale it again to match the size of the shoulder. Now we have these 3 circles, and that's gonna be cool because we're gonna go to edge mode, alt click, alt click, alt shift click. We have both circles selected, F3, and we're gonna go to search bridge edge loops, and that way we have a bridge between two shapes that are going to match this part. I'll click to the edge mode here. I don't like, I think I need to scale it a little bit and move it to the back a little. There you go. So much better. Now with this edge and Shift Alt click, I'm gonna select these two, F3, bridge edge loop, and we have this shape. Perfect. Now we're gonna move this edge just to the top of the arm, something over there. As you can see, we only select the faces that we have visible. So we're gonna press Ctrl Z, 3 to the side view, Shift Z to go to wireframe mode, select everything, and now we have everything selected. 3 again to go to the left side view. We move this to the top over there, and with F we're gonna create a cap over here. There you go. We're gonna use this one because it's gonna be easier to create a bevel, and now you're gonna see why. We go to the front view, we're gonna move this edge to match this part of the arm. We're gonna move also this two to match this part of the arm. There you go. Now Alt click, Control B, and we're going to create a bevel. With the scroll we create more cuts in our bevel. I think something around there, it's going to be awesome. Perfect. Now we have this round edge, and we can move it just to match this part. Alt click, Alt Shift click, Alt Shift click to move this, Alt Shift click to move these two. Front view, we're gonna move it just a little bit to match this curve shape that we have over there. Perfect. Now, as you can see, the arm is not complete a cylinder. It's more like a cylinder with a cut over here to match the shape of the chest. So we're gonna go to front mode, pressing 1 in the Num keypad. We're gonna go to vertices mode. We're gonna select with the lasso. We're gonna select all, Shift Z to make transparency mode, and we could select the back too. All this, S to scale it, X to select the axis, and 0. Now we have a flat shape, and we could move it. There you go, something over there. We're gonna rotate it to match this part of the arm, of the chest, sorry. We're gonna move this also. Shift Z, and as you can see, we have a flat shape over here. It's gonna be perfect to match to the chest, and this arm gonna rotate with no problem. Perfect. Go to the front view, Control R to create some edge loops, Escape to keep it in the center. Perfect. Now 3 and 9 gonna give it the opposite view, but the image is obstructing the view, so we're gonna move here, or we're gonna select the face or the vertices and press dot in the Num keypad and the camera go direct to that point. Perfect. Control R. Awesome. We're gonna place it something over here to create an edge loop. Now pressing 3 in the top Num keypad, we're gonna use the face mode, or going here. We're gonna select this 4. Now I think this 6. We're gonna make an insert. Try to go with right click, loop tools, circle, and we're gonna scale it a little bit. Do not create like a crazy shape. Awesome. Now we could extrude it with Alt E to select extrude faces along normals. There you go. Now we have the arm and the piece that's gonna fit in the hole of the sheds. Perfect. It's looking so much better. Now we're gonna create some edge loops over here to preserve the shape. Control R. 3, it's gonna be enough. Escape to keep it in the center. Alt click to select just one loop. From view, there you go. Alt click, Control V. We could create a bevel. We reduce the number of axes. There you go. Perfect. Now we have a huge hole over here. So what we're gonna do with that? We need to create another hole in the arm to hold the hand. Let's go to our reference and let's see how the hand is placed. As you can see over here, the hand have a hole, then that is the place that you will insert the hand over there. So let's create that. Alt click, and we're gonna select all the edge loop. Then F3, grid fill. Now we could offset this a little bit to keep everything in the center, so much better. Now we select these 4 faces. 3 to select face mode. We select those 4 faces. Control plus to increase our size. Right click, loop edge, circle. Awesome. Insert to create an insert face. Alt E to create the extrusion along the normals, and we're gonna go inside the arm to have this hole. I think it's a little bit bigger. 2 to select. Now Control Z. Control Z. We're gonna scale that face a little bit, and after that, pressing 2 in the top Num keypad, we're gonna go to edge mode, select this edge, and we're gonna scale it too to have a smaller hole. I think that's gonna be perfect. Now tap to go out of the the edit mode. Control 2 to smooth it a little bit. Tab again and Shift set. We select all the faces. Now Shift set again to go to the shape mode. Shift E to select how much smooth will we want in this shape. I think something over there to keep the edge, but smooth it a little bit. That's so much better. Okay. Now that we have this one, we're gonna rename it. Double click, arm underscore R, because he's the right one. Awesome. We need to create a hand. So let's go to side view, and we're going to use this picture as a reference. Shift A to create a circle. The circle is over here, so we're gonna try to move it to the center, scale it to match more or less the size of the shape. Now we're gonna rotate it with R and Y axis. So we're gonna press Y, Control to keep it rotating properly from view, rotate, Y axis, Control. Now we have completely the circle to the front view. Press 1 and we could place it something over here. There you go. We scale it a little bit just to match this. Can you see this line over here? That's our circle. Now we go tap to edit mode, and we're gonna delete all this part. We're in edge mode, yeah. Select these edges, also this one and this one. So we're gonna delete. Select edge just to delete those edges. We're gonna go to selection box, alt click to select the whole loop, shift D to duplicate, enter to place it, S to scale it, and we're gonna have another circle over here. Now we have two circles. Perfect. Alt click. We're gonna move it. To keep it visible for us. Now we're gonna go to vertices mode. We're gonna start moving the vertices here, 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 over here, over here, over here, over here, this other over here. We're gonna try to put these points closer as we can. Same as well in the other side. Try to keep both vertices so close, and then we're gonna select them. Press the letter M key to merge, and we're gonna go by distance. As you can see, didn't do anything, so we're gonna increase the distance, and it's already merged. Same as well here. M by distance. There you go. They are already merged, and it's a whole loop right now. Now we're gonna extrude this. In the X direction, something over there. Now we have more or less the shape of the hand. We're gonna press F to create a cap here. Alt click to select the whole loop. F to create a cap. Perfect. We go to selection. We're gonna go to edge mode. We're in the side view, and we're gonna try to rotate this. So we're gonna press R to rotate and Z to rotate in the other. Oh, we're selecting just the face, sorry. Shift Z to go to wireframe, select everything. Shift Z to go to shape mode. R to rotate. Z to select the axis. Control to move in angles. And we already rotate that. Now we're going to try to match this part of the reference. There you go. We're gonna rotate again, something like that. We're gonna place it, go to the front view, it's more or less matching. We're gonna go something over here. Perfect. Awesome. Now with Control R, we're gonna create some edge loops. I think 5 is gonna be perfect. Escape to keep it in the center. Now we have the hand. Awesome. Now we have to select these faces, so we're gonna go to face select mode. We're gonna select these faces over here, these 4 faces. Control plus to increase the selection. Right click, love tool, circle, so we could have this shape. Side view with number 3 on the keypad in the right side of the keyboard. E to extrude. That's it. Now we're gonna make an insert over here, and we're gonna extrude it again to have the shape that it's gonna be inside the arm. Awesome. Now we're gonna go to top view. We're gonna try to match the position. Selecting the geometry outside the edit mode and go to select. We could Shift S and cursor to selected. This is gonna help us a lot. Shift Z, select everything, Shift S, cursor to selected. Awesome. We're gonna move the origin of the shape to the center of the selection. Again, you are outside the edit mode. In object mode, you press tab, Shift Z to go to wireframe mode, select all the faces, Shift Z to go to shade mode, then right click, Shift S to get this menu, and we go to cursor to selected, and the cursor gonna move to the center of the shape. Now we have so much more control in the movements. There you go. We're gonna rotate this a little bit. There you go. Now we have the hand placed in position. We're gonna rename this as hand underscore right. Awesome. We're gonna move the hand to our geometry collection. I didn't check that. Okay, perfect. Everything in zero. And now selecting this and this. If we want to create a mirror, we could do it, but it's gonna be like in the same shape. So I prefer to duplicate and then make the mirror. So let's do that to have separate shapes, separate instance. There you go. We have the arm, the hand. So we're gonna select the arm. We're gonna go out of the editing mode. We're gonna go this and this, Shift D to duplicate, enter, and then we're gonna move in the X value over here. This one too in the, sorry, we're gonna move it together to preserve the position. Now right click, mirror X global, and we're going to place it in the other side. Dot to focus in this part, 1 to have from view, dot, and we will move it to have a better control. There you go. Right now we have almost the whole body. We're gonna save this, file, save as, and we're gonna Lego Batman. Save. Awesome. I hope you guys are doing well until now. Now we're gonna proceed to create the cape, and after that the head. So let's do that. You're gonna go to side view with 3. We're gonna place the cursor, I think, something over here. That's gonna help us a lot to create the geometry in this position. And Shift A to create a shape, mesh, cube. We're gonna scale it in Y-axis, so S, Y. We're gonna move the mouse to scale it, I think something over here. It's gonna be perfect. We're gonna try to move it a little bit. Go to the front view to see if it's matching the size of the cape. Yeah, a little bit bigger. So S, Z. We're gonna try to match it perfectly. Okay, more or less it's almost there. So S, X. We already have this part. Now we're gonna press tab 1, and we're only gonna select the edges of the top, and we're gonna scale it in the X axis to match this size too. Awesome. Now we have the shape, the basic shape. We're gonna press 1, and we're gonna try to hide everything else. That we're not using. Now we're gonna press Shift Z to see the wireframe mode. We're gonna select these edges, Control R to create some loops. We're gonna create, I think, 4 is gonna be perfect. Escape to place it in the center. 1 to the front view. Shift Z. We're gonna select this loop, the first one. S and X to scale it in the X axis. Then Alt click to select this loop. S, X to select this axis, and there you go. Alt click again, S, X to match the shape, S, X. Perfect. Now we have to create this part, the pointy part. So front view, Control R to create in the middle, click, escape, Control R to create the other one, Control R, escape to keep it in the center, Control R, click, escape to keep it in the center, Control R, escape to keep it, Control R, click, escape to keep it in the center, click, Control R, click, escape to keep it in the center, again, click, keep it in the center. Now Shift Z, and we're going to try to match this shape. So we're going to go to vertices mode, selection, I'm going to start moving this. Shift Z to go to wireframe mode and to select the back part of the shape. We're going to select this, all these points. We're going to move it to the top. This and this. Vertices to try to match this side. Scale X. Now it's matching. Now this and this too. We're going to move it to try to match this and this too. We're going to try to match this shape. Perfect. Now we have the basic shape. Now we're going to select these 2 points. Now let's create just the part that's going to join to the neck. Selecting the faces, now you can see so much better. Selecting these faces in the side view, extrude, pressing Ctrl and click, we could extrude. First we're gonna rotate this face a little bit. Control click, Control right click, Control right click. This is not that good. Control right click. Rotate to keep it perfectly shaped. S set to scale it. And exactly. Now we select this edge loop. Rotate. Perfect, scale it in Z axis. I'm gonna move it a little bit to the back. Awesome. Right now we have this shape. Okay. We have 8 faces over here, so we're going to select this edge, activate this option, or pressing O to get the proportional editing mode. O, or clicking here. We're going to select the arrow, and we're going to, with the scroll, increase the affected area to create a more curved over here. Okay, I liked something like that. We're gonna select this edge and this other two. There you go. Top view with number 7, S to scale it. We're gonna deactivate the proportional editing mode. S to scale it a little bit. Now it's more circular shape. Shift Z to get wireframe mode. 7. We select all these edges and we're gonna move it a little bit to the back. We're gonna turn the chest on just to see that everything is matching. Okay, something over there. Awesome. Now top view, Control R. So we could create some extra geometry. Now we're going to select some faces over here, pressing 3 or going to face selection mode. We're going to select these 4. Control plus, we're going to increase the size. We're going to make an insertion. We're going to scale it. Right click, loop tools, circle. Oh, wait a minute. Shift Z to be sure that we are selecting the faces in the back. Let's be sure everything is selected. Perfect. 7 to go to top view. Now insert with I, pressing the key I, scale it in y-axis, scale it in x-axis, circle. It's not working because we have a lot of different shapes, so we're gonna try manually. We're gonna go to top view, we're gonna go to vertices, and we're gonna move it manually to get a better circular shape. Okay, now that we have this loop, it's gonna be easier. We're gonna press 2 to go to edge selection mode, Alt Shift to select all the loops. Let's be sure that everything is selected. Something is missing over here. Perfect. 7. I to make an insertion. S to scale it a little bit. Shift set. We could select all these faces. Right click, and we go to bridge. Bridge. We're gonna delete these faces. Okay, now we have the hole over here, and we could select all these loop and all these loop. Right click, bridge edge loops. Now we have this stuff. We will scale it to keep it more in the center to match better to the shape. Perfect. Now we could go to vertices mode, select these vertices and this one, and we're gonna try to affect the shape to get more curvy this part. So we're gonna go to proportional editing mode. We're gonna move this, we're gonna increase the size of the affected area. And now we have more curvy geometry over here. Perfect. Perfect. Now we're gonna go get out of editing mode, Control 2, selecting this, and we're gonna smooth it a little bit. Now get back to editing mode, Shift Z to go to wireframe mode, select everything, Shift Z to go to material or shape mode, Shift E to have the chance to edit the smoothness. There you go, I think it's so much better. And we have the cape, the legs, the chest, the belt until now. So let's see what else missing. We already have the hands, the arms. Now we have to create the head and the helmet. Belt. This is the arm, the other arm. We're gonna save this. Okay, we're gonna go to the side view. We're gonna move a little bit our reference, just a little bit, to keep it something over there, to have everything in order. We deselect again or disable the selection to our collection to reference. 3, Shift and right click to move the cursor, Shift A, and we're going to create a cylinder. We're going to scale it to try to match the size. Shift Z to see through the element. Tap to go to edit mode. Select all the vertices in the top and move it to try to match this part. Now that we have this, we're going to press 2 in the top number keypad, or we're going to go to edge mode, Shift Z to go to the shade mode, top view, tap to go out of the edit mode, go to object mode. We're going to move the head, trying to match the center. There you go, something over there. Tap to return to edit mode. Now alt click to select all these edge loop, Shift alt click to select the bottom edge loop, Control V to create the bevel. We're gonna increase the edge loops. Perfect, we have the shape already. Now in edge mode, we're gonna select this loop. We're gonna press Y to create an insertion, and we're gonna try that insertion match this shape. Now we're gonna extrude it with E and try to match the size. Now alt click, both selected, side view, dot to focus in this area, and we're going to scale it to try to match this part over here in the reference. So much better. Alt click to this one to keep it lower. Now alt click and shift, Control V to create another bevel. Perfect, so much better. We're gonna do the same in the bottom to try to match this hole. So we're gonna select the face. We're gonna create an insert, and we're gonna try to match the circle in the chest. Something over here. Now we're gonna press E to extrude, but we're gonna extrude to the inside of the chest. Oh, sorry, we're missing the neck. Okay, we have this. We're gonna make an insert to try to match the size of the neck. We're gonna extrude it. Then we're gonna create an insert. We're gonna turn off the chest and the cape. just to see through. We're gonna create an insert. There you go. Extrude, and we're gonna go to the inside to have. Let's see how big is this. I think we exaggerate a little bit, so shift set to go to wireframe mode. We have already selected top. We're gonna shift alt click. Oh, selecting something extra that we don't want. We're gonna try to go closer. Shift alt click. There you go. So much better. And we're gonna scale something over there. Top view. Perfect. Out of the object mode. Awesome. We have our head in place. Sorry for that. I turned off my collection. As you can see, these edges have moved to the top, so we need to solve that. We are in the edit mode. We're gonna select that loop and we're gonna move it down. Okay, so much better. Where's our cape? Okay, perfect, so much better. Now that we almost have everything here, we're gonna save. And right now we're gonna start applying some materials, and then at the end we're gonna make the helmet. Okay, so in the folder that I sent to you, they have all the shaders and some stickers that we're going to use as decals here. So let's use that, because we only have a little bit of time right now. So let's go for that. We're going to select outside the edit mode. We're going to select some pieces with shift. And we're gonna go to materials, and there you go. We're gonna create new one, and we're gonna apply black color. Perfect. Black color, perfect. And we're gonna go to shading mode. Now in this, we're gonna could see the materials in our viewport. We're gonna press this one, and we're gonna start applying materials to these pieces of geometry. So we're gonna go to materials, add new, and we're gonna change the base color to black. Same as well here. New material, shape color black. The chest, new material, black. Arm, new material, base color black. New material. We're lucky, this Batman is almost just black. The hands also are black, so it's gonna be easier. Perfect. The only part that is different color is the belt. So we're gonna create the belt. We're gonna go to yellow, something over. I don't like too much these colors, so I'm gonna go with so much better. Perfect. The head, we're gonna use also black, and you're now gonna see why. Now we're gonna go to the front view, Shift A, image, and we're gonna use image as decal. Okay, so we're gonna create an image as decal. We're gonna go to the materials and texture. We're gonna start with the chest. We're gonna select the chest. We're gonna select the decal. We're gonna go to top view, R to rotate it, Control to keep it in the angles, and we're gonna try to scale it. So from view, we're gonna match it, scale it, something over there, and this, it's gonna be the magic. We're gonna go to the modifiers. We're gonna add a modifier that it's called shrimp. It's deform is shrink wrap. Now that we have the modifier here, we're gonna go to the eyedropper and we're gonna click it, and we're gonna click on the chest. Perfect. Now it's gonna be matching. We're gonna make a 0.01 offset, and we're gonna move it a little bit to the front, and now we have the texture. We're gonna scale it a little bit to match it so much better. In the front view, we're gonna move it a little bit to down, scale it. Perfect. I love it how it's going to look this. Now we're gonna disable the cape a little bit. We're gonna go to the front view, Shift A, same as well, image as decal. We're gonna select the back. We're gonna go to the top view with 7, select the image as decal. We're gonna scale it a little bit to try to match the size. We're gonna press R to rotate, Control to move in the angles, try to match the front view. We're gonna put it in the top. We're gonna scale it, trying to match the size of the shape. Now we're gonna go again, add modifier, deform, shrink wrap, select the chest, and we're gonna try to match the back. We're gonna scale it a little bit, not too much. There you go. We're gonna add the offset 0.01. Awesome. Now we have the front and the back of the Batman. Now we go to the face, same as well. 1, Shift right click to the front, Shift A, image as decal, and we're gonna import the face. Select the face, top view with 7, R to rotate, Control to keep it in the place. There you go. We're gonna move it to place. We're gonna try to scale it to match the whole face. Front view, scale it. Something around that. This one already have shrink wrap. Add modifier, deform, shrink wrap, select. We're gonna go to the head that I think it's cylinder because we didn't change the name. We're gonna move it to the front. We're gonna select the offset 0.1. You maybe ask why the face have a white space, but it's because we have the helmet, and the eyes in the helmet have to look white. And there you go. Perfect. We're gonna save this, and we almost have everything. Now I challenge you to make the helmet on this project. If you have any doubt, don't hesitate to contact me. I'm gonna be so happy to do it. You can find me in social media as KalL3D on Instagram. I'm gonna share you my Instagram, and if you need anything or you have some doubts, don't hesitate, contact me, and I will love to help you. Right now it's everything for this lesson. I hope you enjoy it, and I appreciate your time sharing this with me, and have a good day. Ciao guys.